Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the Hard Nine podcast. Today is March 21st, 2023. We are 9 days away from Cardinals spring training. However, at this moment, right now, big time shout out to Japan, shout out to the WBC, and shout out to baseball because the last 2 weeks has been an unbelievable experience.
By far the greatest WBC ever played, even close. Every game kind of, especially in the knockout round, gave you exactly what you wanted. Other than the Cuba-USA game, there weren't any blowouts. I mean, the Mexico game versus Japan yesterday was fantastic. And then today it ended exactly how it was supposed to end, with Shohei Ohtani striking out Mike Trout to end it. That's as perfect as it gets.
Literally, a buddy of mine, Johnny, texted me right before the bottom of the eighth inning, I think, and he said, it's going to end with Ohtani striking Trout out. How fitting, except for the Americans. And I just responded back, sigh, and then we get the first guy on, and I'm like, okay. And then he sent it back and afterwards, he's like, when you're right, you're right. And he nailed it. How about this? 2 fastballs right down the middle, 100 miles per hour. It was, here it is, try to hit it. That dude, I don't have words for him. I do not have words for him anymore. I'm going to give you massive credit. You've been on this train for 5 years. I was wrong at the beginning. I didn't think this was sustainable. I don't know what happens after this year or this year, whatever. That man is must-watch TV, and he is literally, as I've heard many people say, transcending the sport, and has brought such a international appeal to the game of baseball. Benji Gill said it spot on last night. The game of baseball has won over these last 2 weeks, and he's dead on.
You said you don't have any words for him. I have 4. Greatest of all time. And it's not even close. I don't want to hear Babe Ruth. I don't want to hear anyone else. No one in the history of baseball can do what that man did today. No one.
Did you hear him say that he went out because he knew that all of Mexico would be watching, so he did batting practice yesterday and was just hitting tanks off the scoreboard? Nolan Arenado said that guy just hit one off the scoreboard. That's not, like, that should never happen.
He hit one over
and
500
he did it
feet
again today.
He hit one over 500 feet today, beat out an infield single, and then came in and struck out Mike Trout and got Mookie Betts to ground to a double play to win the WBC.
It's literally a Hollywood movie, Caleb. It's literally a Hollywood movie what this guy is doing. But here's the other thing that I want to talk about. Like, it is him, right? I get it. But that entire team, that is awesome. As fundamentally sound of they are. I would love to see them compete for a year in the major leagues. Now, I don't know if they're pitching.
I want to be fair. No, but that's an all-star team.
Just watching the guy, that middle of the lineup, the kid who's coming to Boston this year.
Yoshida.
Yeah. And then the kid who hit the absolute tank tonight.
Murakami.
He needs to be over he'll be here soon. And Sasaki's going to be over here soon, which sort of sucks for Japan, but it is also great for all of baseball. And shout out to Lars, didn't have the best night tonight. However, they get the dub. Shout out to him. Shout out to Japan. But I have been glued to this. You talked about staying up till 1 a.m. and then getting up at 5 a.m. to watch another game. That's how incredible this tournament has been.
Yeah, it was awesome. And also, let me know if my internet goes out because it just paused for like a second.
What happened? Do you have like 4 gerbils in the closet controlling your internet up there?
No, I have internet through the apartment complex, and they didn't pick the best internet. I can't do anything about that. But yeah, shout out to Lars, obviously. That's incredible for him. I'm so happy for him. I was rooting for USA, of course. I was excited when Jeff McNeil got on to start the 9th, even against my better judgment because Ahmet got on base. I was excited. And then I was annoyed when Mookie hit a ground ball. But to me, that was almost perfect too. If Shohei Ohtani is going to strike out Mike Trout in the 9th inning, it's Captain Japan versus Captain America. So for the tournament on the line, it's got to end the game.
How much
it has to.
Were you watching it as I was, hoping that Trout either homered or struck out? I did not want him walking and Goldie coming up with the game on the line. No offense, that's not a shot at Goldie. I'm just saying I wanted it decided by Mike Trout.
It had to be a win for either one of them.
Yeah,
it had to be Mike Trout either ties the game or Shohei strikes him out. I don't want anything else. And I wasn't I was rooting for USA always, the whole game. Of course. But I wasn't sad when they lost it all. I felt like it's a win for Japan. It's a win for people that don't know much about Japan. Japanese baseball. They just saw, I mean, those top 6 hitters in that lineup are all great baseball players. Like people need to know those guys.
Couple things. Manfred made it clear that 2026, so in 3 years, we'll get another WBC. I am very hopeful. I know, I understand that all the contracts and everything. I am very hopeful that a lot of our top American pitchers were watching this and saying, fuck, I wish I was pitching in this. That's what I'm hoping.
I think Nolan Arenado put it perfectly. He said this a couple days ago. He said, if you're throwing 96 to 100 in spring training, why can't you be doing that here?
Agreed.
Perfect. Perfectly said.
Yep.
And, I've heard some things like Brandon Woodruff tried to play maybe, but insurance didn't work out. Baseball needs to make it easier for those players to come if they want to. There's zero reason Clayton Kershaw, who wanted to come be on this team, wasn't allowed to come. That needs to be cleaned up. If they want to be here, they need to be here. Teams shouldn't be allowed to hold them back. So I'm looking at you, the New York Yankees, who didn't allow anyone but Kyle Higashioka to go. Like, I don't know if Aaron Judge wanted to be on this team, but if he did, if Garrett Cole did, they need to be here. That needs to be what it is. It needs to be a full buy-in. Thank God we can say this now. There was a Nolan Arenado scare, but USA through a whole tournament, no major injuries. Like Brooks Raley did have a hamstring thing. That was before the actual play even started. That was just something that happened. And Kyle Tucker had a little bit of an ankle thing. He's fine. But other than that, there's been no major injuries.
All right. Sorry about that. We had a little AirPod issue. The last thing I will say is I thought DeRosa did a good job. Like people want to give him a lot of grief. He got the USA to the finals. And you can say, well, they only had to play Cuba. Like whatever. That's not it. He doesn't control the schedule. There were, like we talked about the Miles situation. He was dealt, I hate to say, like a tough hand with pitchers. Like there's no doubt about it. And you had guys that were planning on being in the middle of the lineup every day. Tucker gets hurt. Pete Alonso couldn't hit water if he fell out of a boat. Like there was a lot of issues there. I thought he handled it very well. To be honest,
I thought so. I thought he did a good job. I mean, if he has the best pitchers in the world, like Japan had their best pitchers, probably win it. Now, maybe not. Who knows? Like, but at the same time, I want to give credit to the pitchers that had so much flack on them the whole time. They were awesome.
Yeah, agreed.
Like, they were awesome. They did their job. They held Japan to 3 runs. That should be enough to win a game. But man, shout out to Japan's pitchers. Yeah. Those guys. I was watching it, and I don't know if you were watching the same. They were thinking the same thing. All of the American hitters, you could tell, were not used to seeing what they were seeing from Japan. The splitters. It was the splitters, man. They had not seen splitters at that level, like that consistently. It was the whole game. And they just couldn't hit him. Like Mike Trout, uncharacteristically, was chasing out of the zone. He doesn't do that much. All on splitters. They're hard to pick up. And shout out to those guys, man. That's why when guys like Ohtani, guys like Darvish come over here and they have those pitch arsenals, generally they do very well because guys just don't see them that often. So shout out to Japan, man. If US would have lost in the semifinals or in the quarterfinals, that's who I would have been rooting for, was Japan. So I'm happy for them. I think it's awesome. I hope that grows the game. I'm assuming the numbers aren't out yet. That probably was the most watched baseball game of all time.
Yeah, I think so. I think it was. I mean, I'm going to say it is. They're not out yet, but I'm going to say yes, it is.
And they got to see Shohei Ohtani strike out Mike Trout to end it. That's amazing. That is amazing.
And the other thing is, here's the thing. In a game that mattered, not in an all-star game down the road, in a game that mattered for all the marbles at a time. That's you. Like I said, Hollywood ending. You can't make it up.
Yeah, you know what just happened tonight? Shohei Ohtani struck out Mike Trout in both of their biggest at-bats in their lives. And
they're both going back to Angels camp tomorrow.
I mean, Lars Nootbaar is coming back.
Yep.
I mean, he's going to be on top of the world.
Oh, yeah.
So let's get to that was amazing, by the way. Baseball won. Like USA lost, baseball won. Absolutely incredible. Loved every second of it. I want this every year. It's not going to happen every 3 years, but let's get to the Cardinals. So opening day, some big cuts today. I guess we should lead in with that. 2 cuts that I think were necessary, but one of them that I think we were like, man, they better do it. Liberatore going down, great. He's going to probably be the 1 or the 2 in Memphis. Hopefully he builds off the confidence he has here. I hope they had a great conversation with him on his way out, saying this wasn't about your performance here. We just need you to be ready when someone is hurt, because it's going to happen. He's going to get some big starts.
I'm sure that conversation.
So that goes to Dakota Hudson. He's cut. Everyone knew it should happen. I think Dakota Hudson probably knew it should happen. We were all worried it wasn't going to happen. It did. And that's going to lead to someone we're probably going to talk about later in our roster projection and what that means for him. But I think, we're trying to get this video out a little bit earlier because cuts are coming in fast. It seems like every day a couple of guys are going down.
Yeah. Also, I'd like to get your take because you actually sent me the take, but I want you to say it on here. Ollie's about Hudson today saying 89 to 90 miles per hour isn't going to cut it. We've seen Waino throw 85, 86. Now, people say, well, he's winning. Well, that's not what the quote was. And that's going to be your opening day starter. So what are your thoughts on that? Like, you told me what your thoughts were when you sent me the text, and I've seen a lot of people who agree with you. So what do you think about that?
I have a few thoughts. One, yeah, I'll get to that after this, actually. My thought is that's hypocritical. One, I agree with, and it is different for the simple fact that we've seen Waino succeed at 89 to 90. Like, he can do that. If he's at 89, and he's averaging that right now, I would be completely happy with where he's at. Dakota Hudson's not that, okay? He can't. He doesn't have the best curveball in Cardinal history, like Adam Wainwright does. But I thought it was hypocritical to say that, and then in 8 days, as you guys are watching this, give the ball to Adam Wainwright on opening day when he's throwing 4 miles per hour slower than 89 miles per hour. So that's weird to me. But another thing, Dad, that's strange and not normal at all, the opening day starter has not been announced.
No, it hasn't. It hasn't. I don't think it has to be yet. I mean, I guess
that's not. Almost every other team has announced their opening day starter.
Yeah. Yep. It'll be interesting to see.
And I heard and I read something today that said that the MLB pushes them to announce the opening day starter relatively soon so they can market it. They haven't announced it.
With those cuts today and then a few other cuts down to 41 players, so 15 to go. 15. I think you can probably figure out a few of those, but we're going to talk about what we kind of think our opening day rosters are going to look like. How do you want to set this up? Like,
first, I want to go with position players first, because I think those are more straightforward than the pitchers. I don't know about you, but when I got to my relief pitchers that I wanted to keep, the final 4-3-4-ish spots, really, really tough. And I started thinking Cardinal brain a little bit, like who do we have to keep? Like who, how do we keep the depth here? And that's probably what they're going to do to start the year. But let's start with position players. I want to go through my locks first. The guys I think for sure they're on it. I have 9, and I want to see if you agree with these 9 guys. No shot these guys are going down. Okay. We got Arenado, Goldie, Contreras, Tommy, and Donovan, Nootbaar, and O'Neill. Those guys, those 7, no doubt, right? All 7 definitely on. And my final 2, I think Nolan Gorman's definitely on the roster, no doubt. And I think Dylan Carlson, even though he's had his struggles, those 9, those are locks. They're on it. Set it and forget it as of right now.
I have all 9 of those on my list as well. I agree with you 100%.
Do you have any locks that I do not have?
Yeah, I think Andrew Kisner's on the roster.
I know that people out there comments today.
Huh?
Did you see Ali Marmal's comments today?
I guess I didn't. So maybe
he said Tres Barrera has outplayed Andrew Kisner to this point, and we're taking that into consideration.
Okay, well then maybe I'm completely wrong. I just also think that what they've said all along is Kisner and the trust of the pitching staff and the love of the pitching staff.
Have you ever heard a manager come out and give names like that?
So I missed that. That's on me.
But here's the thing.
Paying attention to the World Baseball
Classic.
Also
will go to my final 4 hitters that I have on it because I have 4 left. I call them my final 4. They're the guys that I think bubble. I have one of them. I marked off names 4 times and then finally landed on one with my heartstrings, I think, a little bit. But Andrew Kisner's on my roster. He is. I didn't have him as a lock because I don't think he's a lock at this point.
Fair.
But
That's fair. I shouldn't have said he's a lock, but I have him on my roster.
My second player, this one is Taylor Motter.
Yeah, I have him on
the roster. Juan Yepez and Alec Burleson. I marked off names about 5 different times. I tried to do it. Juan Yepez is the guy I went with because of postseason pedigree and what he did last year. And I couldn't figure out a role where Alec Burleson would get even a start.
So I'm confused here. I thought you said that Burleson and Yepez were your last 2 hitters.
No, one of them. I picked one of them.
Okay, so I'm confused. Let me go through this. All right. You added Kisner. That becomes 10.
Yep.
Right? Motter becomes 11.
Mm-hmm.
So you got 2 more to go.
And then Juan Yepez is the one. I haven't gotten to my last one yet because he's the most exciting.
Okay.
But Juan Yepez was my choice. That was the most difficult one that I had to choose. I seriously, like, if you can see this, I don't know if you can. There might be some spoilers on there, but I put Juan Yepez, marked it off, put Alec Burleson, marked it off, and put Yepez again. I couldn't leave Juan Yepez off the roster. I think he earned it last year.
When you marked him off, did you use red lipstick?
No,
Like
no,
Steve
I didn't
Buscemi.
Steve Buscemi it. I didn't.
That
But
would have
Juan
been
Yepez is on.
So I assume your 13th is my 13th.
My 13th is Jordan Walker.
J-Dub, same.
And here's the thing. If it was me, he'd be in my locks category, but that's not what it is. He is on the roster for me. There's articles coming out about what jersey number he's going to pick.
Yeah.
Like, that doesn't happen very often. I think Jordan Walker makes the roster. I think he should make the roster. And I'm excited to see where that goes. I think he's the one that everyone probably clicked on this video because, hey, I got you to watch this because his face is in the thumbnail.
Hey, are you worried about his last 25 plate appearances hitting
not even
180?
a little bit. Not even
with a 270 OPS.
Okay, those last 25,
right.
I think he probably has 8 balls or more hit over 100 miles.
I'm not arguing with that. I'm just, but we know that we live in a results-oriented business. Let me say this. I think out of all of those guys, it's going to, like Burleson, let him go down and play every day. I think that's a trade piece for the future, or it's a safety net, whichever way you want to look at it. All right. So let him go down to Memphis and let him play every day with Gomez and Mercado in the outfield. That's what I'm assuming is going to happen out down there. All right. 2, I believe that I really still will stick to the fact that I do believe Cardinals, if you've been a Cardinal fan and you've paid attention to Mozeliak and how they operate, they love draft picks. And the idea that if you have him on your roster on opening day and he does come up and is the Jordan Walker we saw in the first half of spring training and does win Rookie of the Year, you get a very hasty draft pick compensation for that, just like the Mariners got.
And more importantly, if he comes up and he is good enough to get Rookie of the Year votes and he helps you win games earlier than he would have if you sit him down for a month, and then he gets you a draft pick, that's a win-win-win.
Agreed.
That means you have a great player on your team. That means he's winning one of the best rookies in baseball. And that also means that he's getting you a draft pick. In my opinion, if he comes up and he looks like he's not ready, I think right now he could be pressing a little bit because he knows, hey, it's getting down to crunch time because he's swinging a lot.
Yeah,
but
he is.
I think I kind of wish they'd go up to him and be like, hey, kid, you made the roster. Like, hey, you're on it. Relax. Take lots of bats like you're trying to get ready for the season, not like you're trying to impress us. I kind of hope that happens soon, to be honest with you. I don't want this to be that, okay, we're waiting until Monday before they head out up to St. Louis to see if he's on the team. I think he's on the team. I really do. I think that decision was made when they DFA'd Freddie Pacheco.
Yeah, I think so too.
Because I went through the rest of my roster, and I'm not going to spoil anything, but I didn't add anybody else to the 40-man.
Yeah, I'm on board. I'm on board with everything that you said. I think we are actually everybody. We had the exact same 13 hitters.
Well, I guess that's not true. Taylor Matter's not on the 40-man.
Yeah, well, they have an open spot, right?
One. Jordan Walker's on the 40-man.
Well, I'm going to explain to you when we get to my relief pitchers where that spot's going to go.
I'll get to that as well.
Hold on 1 second.
I
think I also think that because of the way Carlson has played the last half of spring training, I think you also don't have to rush Jordan Walker into the lineup, into the middle of the lineup every day. So I remember you talked about this earlier, like, hey, Jordan Walker hitting 8th isn't a bad thing. That might be what they're looking at right now. And with the way O'Neill performed in the WBC, he's back. We've talked about it on here a lot. You got 4 outfielders, 2 of whom, actually all 4 who have played a lot of games this spring between the WBC and spring training. You're going to have time, especially early in the season, to find at-bats for all 4 of those guys. And I don't think it has to come via the DH. Yeah. I think you've got Gorman and Yepez there. But I think in the outfield, you don't have to play Tyler O'Neill 7-6. You can play him 7 out of 10. You can play all of them 7 out of 10.
You know the great thing about this roster? I was putting it together. There's the Sunday getaway lineup, not a thing. Like you might have Taylor Matter playing second base or shortstop. You might. But other than that, like you've still got 8 guys in there, 7 guys Kisner's in that you feel good about on a daily basis, which is awesome. I'm interested. I don't think the Cardinals would send Jordan Walker down at this point. I almost think after that game against the Yankees and Garrett Cole and Greg Weissert, where he had some great at-bats, I think that's when the decision was made. Mm-hmm. So you want to get to let's get to pitching.
I got one more thing to say, and it'll be really quick.
Oh, go for it.
2 apologies. And one, I apologize to the people on Twitter that I told them there's no way Taylor Matter's making this lineup or this roster. I was wrong. Also, more importantly, I apologize to Taylor Matter. What he has done is come out and showed out as a 31-year-old journeyman with 400 career at-bats, and he has done everything he has needed to do with his head down and showed up every day. So shout out to him. That's on me. I apologize to all of those of you who I thought you sounded loony like a week ago when you said Taylor Matter. You were right. I was wrong.
Yeah, and I echo those sentiments because I was saying the same thing. I've heard also from some of the writers down there They said he was taking pictures of the Clydesdales when they were walking around and sent them to his daughter. Like, he sounds like a great dude as well.
Yes.
So shout out to the Cardinals as well for finding another guy who
Yep.
probably is going to be able to help you for sure, and that we didn't know about before, that
Yep.
we would have never guessed. So good for him. I'm happy for him.
And then the
he's not on the
conundrum
roster
is
officially, but he is on our roster.
right. The conundrum is then when Paul DeJong returns from injury, then we have to talk about that.
We'll see if Taylor Mott is performing. That might make it easy to tell Paul DeJong to kick rocks. If you're not performing, Paul DeJong probably back on the roster.
So we got
That's
the
a
same
problem
five.
for
We
a
got
while.
the rotation. That's set.
Yeah. You
Now,
want to go over
let me
it
ask
just
you
so
this
people
with the
know?
rotation. Are you concerned at all about spring ERAs with some of these guys?
Nope.
Okay. All right. Fair.
I'm concerned about one pitcher right now, and it's Adam Wainwright. That's it.
Isn't it wild that we put so much more stock in what hitters do versus what pitchers do in spring training?
I don't know if I do though. Like, I don't know. Like, if Nolan Arenado went out there, like these five guys, while they're not the top end guys, some like you'd say they're established big leaguers. So if Arenado, Goldie, or Wilson went out and had a rough spring, I don't think I'd care.
I guess that's a very valid point because here's what I was looking at it from. Matt Monty with like a 7-something ERA. If Jordan Walker was hitting 118, he's not making the team.
Right. But that's also different. One's an established guy, one's a 20-year-old.
But it is weird that most people say the pitchers come in they're more advanced and ready to go than but they're always working on things, whatever. I'm not.
It also just depends on the person.
But
and Monty's come in working on a slider they've been talking about a lot. So he has been working on different pitches to see what works and what doesn't. That's just what people use spring for different reasons. Like Jack, who knows what he's using spring for? I don't know. I haven't been told. So I don't know.
Yeah. Yep.
But let's go through the 5.
I'm going to go through my pitchers then, you
want to go through the 5 starting pitchers, just get them out of the way so we can talk about
it's Waino, Miles, Jack, Matz, and Monty. That's your 5 starters. Yeah. They've been your 5 starters since the end of October.
How great is it as of now? All looking like they've done what they need to do in the offseason to be able to go into the season healthy.
Oh boy, Jay Flair gives up 9 hits today, and the Jay Flair haters go crazy.
So I did see some stuff on him. I did see some stuff on him today. Velo was up, great.
Yeah.
Swings and whiffs were up. Both good things. The hits, don't care.
No, me neither. Same. Okay, I'm going to go through my relievers, and then you go from there because all right.
How many locks do you have?
5, 6.
I have 3.
Okay, well then let me go through my 3 right off the bat. Helsley, Hicks, and Thompson I have in.
You forgot Gio.
Oh my God, I did. Gio, 4. Sorry.
Okay, so Hicks was not a lock for me, but he is in my bullpen. But my locks were Helsley, Gallegos, Thompson, because I see 0 chance that any of those 3 are left off.
Right. I have Palante making the team.
Me too.
I have Jake Woodford making the team with Liberator and Woodford and Hudson being sent down. To me, Woody is the next guy, right?
He's the guy. Team. That's the guy I want to talk about actually, because briefly, just because Dakota Hudson being sent down, that cleared the way for Jake Woodford to be the swing man that I think they probably envisioned Dakota Hudson being when we went the camp. Which good for the Cardinals, by the way, for saying there's competition and actually sticking to that.
Yep. So that's Helsley, Hicks, Thompson, Palante, Woodford. Wait, Helsley, Hicks, Thompson, Palante, Woodford, Gio. That's 6. Okay, so now I think Verhagen makes it. He's had a decent
I have him
spring.
On as well.
He is under contract.
Hold on,
he's under a major league contract.
He's had a really good spring. He's looked really good.
So that's our 7. Now let's talk about the last 2.
Okay. You want to say who we picked on 3?
No, because I'm not going to do that to our listeners. You just give me one that you've got.
Mine's Will King Rodriguez.
Okay, on mine as well.
Yeah, I mean, you don't want to send him back to New York at all. Like, you don't want to do that. You don't want to send him back to New York because, one, he's nasty. Like, the guy is straight up filth. You might have a high leverage reliever in him, legitimately, but also, you don't want to lose him. There's no reason to lose him right now. Like, he's been good, so why would you want to lose that guy?
Yep, I agree. The guy that I kept coming back to is Packy, because Packy hasn't been terrible this year. He's gotten a lot of innings or appearances, I should say. But I think that's a guy. I'm intrigued to see if they put him down as a starter or what they do with Packy Naughton if they have him in. Well, I mean, they've got 5 spots down there, and we don't know what they're doing with Graceffo, Hance, McGreevy. We haven't heard those guys' names yet, so I don't know if they'll be a Double-A or Triple-A.
So I heard Katie Wu today or yesterday maybe on the radio say that Andre Palante throws right-handed, but they consider him a lefty because he gets left-handers out at such a high rate. So when I was making this, I was like, man, I don't like only having one lefty in there because that is what I ended with. But Andre Palante, I just considered him my second lefty. And that's why I don't think they're going to send him down, because I think he's better than the lefty options they have. And that means we're both agreeing that Chris Stratton will be DFA'd.
That's it. Yep. That's where we came.
Yeah, so that's where I think Taylor Motter / Jordan Walker's spot's going to come in.
Yep.
And not to anything Chris Stratton has done wrong. Like, he really hasn't. He's been really good. I just think when you have so many guys with such higher upside, like all the 9 guys we just listed, maybe, 8 guys, sorry, besides Jake Woodford, maybe because he's going to be more in that can start games for you role. Like, Chris Stratton can't do that. The other 7 can all be high leverage relievers for you.
And let's not forget, we didn't talk about Zuniga, and we didn't talk about Cody Whitley, who has been very good this spring.
Yep, both guys not on the. I think Zuniga is on the 40-man, but he's got options, so we can let him go down there, let him do his thing.
He's already been sent down there, so yeah, he's already down there.
Yeah, he has. I haven't seen anything from him in spring, obviously. So he was great. We know that when someone's hurt, that guy is there, which is awesome because we know he can be electric. And who was the other guy you said? I'm
super pumped for Cody Whitley.
Cody Whitley, yeah. I love Cody Whitley, by the way. Really nice guy. I'll give you a peek behind the curtain. Really nice to me. But he needs to gain his confidence back, and I'm hoping a healthy, most important thing for him, but a healthy and strong, maybe first half with Memphis gets him back to where he needs to be. He's not currently on the 40-man roster. I don't know.
I don't know that answer. I didn't look at the full 40-man.
I don't think he's on the 40-man, but he might. I don't think he is. So hopefully he gets down there. And like I said, I don't think we've had this many options that I like, in the minor leagues.
I agree.
So that's great. That's a great spot to be in. And here's the thing. This is what I think they will do, and it's also what I would do. Now, would it surprise me if come Monday Chris Stratton's heading north with the team? I don't think it would surprise me.
But that means you lose Wilkin Rodriguez, right? Which would surprise me.
I think it means you lose Andre Palante.
Oh, you think he goes down to Memphis is what you're saying?
Or they say, Jake Woodford, you need to go down and start. Or and I don't know. It's tough.
But here's the thing, Caleb. If Stratton makes the team, how does Motter make the team? Who are you taking off the 40?
Packing on.
Okay. All right. Okay, that's fair.
Masevich, or someone that you can. And I'm not advocating for those, but that there are guys for me. There are guys you can get rid of and be just fine. But because they don't have 40 guys that are better than Jordan Walker or Taylor Motter.
Agreed.
Right, so I don't know. That was definitely the toughest for me because I was writing names down, and I obviously wrote down Helsley, Gallegos, Thompson, and Hicks first. Those were the 4, and Palante. Those are the 5 to me. I'm starting my bullpen. Those guys are in it. Like Palante, I get that he might be on the bubble because he can go down and get starter innings for you. But I just have a hard time looking at a guy who was your 3rd best reliever through the whole year last year in the face and saying, hey, you didn't do anything wrong. In fact, you went and shoved for Italy, but we're not putting you on the team. Like
I agree with you. I agree with you.
Couple things. The toughest decision for you. Did you have to? I guess this is the one that held me up. Did you have to think a lot about Juan Yepez and Alec Burleson and which one you'd keep?
No.
To me, it came down to I was trying to construct lineups in my head to where give this guy in a bat against someone that favors them. Because I do think they really like Alec Burleson, and it wouldn't surprise me if they picked him over him. But to me, I was thinking if I'm gonna go with against a lefty, against a righty, I'm gonna be playing Tyler, Jordan, and Newpar in the outfield. And I want Nolan Gorman to get every day at bats, and I'm definitely playing Donovan, and I'm definitely playing Arenado. So to me, there was no real way to get him in the lineup. But against a lefty, I could see Newpar sitting and having the 3 righties in the outfield. Well, and then Dylan Carlson, obviously, and then having Juan Yepez DH. I could see that. I could see a clear role for Juan Yepez. I couldn't see a clear way to start Alec Burleson unless there's an injury.
Which sucks for Alex so bad. And we've talked about it on here. That dude deserves to be on a major league roster starting every day, because if you look around the league, there are what I would say 15 to 16 teams. If
he
not
might be the
more,
best hitter on Oakland.
He would be starting on. Honestly, you can go around the league and make a case in most outfields that he would start on that team, including ours.
And here's the no, you can't. And here's the thing. No, you can't. And here's the thing. We talk about this a lot. The opening day roster, even though this one's pretty strong, I will say, the opening day roster very rarely, actually not very rarely, never ever looks the same. So will Alec Burleson be in the major leagues at some point before the trade deadline? Hell yeah, he'll be up at some point.
Yeah, I agree.
The first guy up.
Couple things I want to get your take on. Dan O'Dowd, one of your favorites of all time, Dan O'Dowd, does come out today.
I love Dan O'Dowd.
Yeah, I know. I wasn't saying it sarcastically.
The guy I don't like is Jim Bowden. You can put
Yeah,
that on
I know.
record.
I was not saying it. Like you always
Well,
say.
the way you said it made it sound like I didn't actually like him.
Anyway,
I really do like Dan O'Dowd. I think he's really good.
saying honestly that Winn could have the highest ceiling of anybody from that 2020 draft class. Compared him to Francisco Lindor. Let's relax a little bit, but I love it. I'm here for it.
Dan O'Dowd, obviously, former GM, did you say that?
No, I did not.
Yeah, so just put in some context. Former GM for the Braves, I believe. Correct me if I'm wrong.
I think that's right. And was he maybe?
I think he was for a couple organizations. I'm not
Colorado,
sure.
maybe.
If you can look that up while I'm talking, that'd be nice.
Yeah,
so
I got you.
Right. But is he going to be Francisco Lindor? And I do see. I probably not. By the way, let me just answer that now. And probably not. Maybe. Who knows? Francisco Lindor. What also wasn't Francisco Lindor when he was a prospect. So
correct.
We'll see. Where I do see that comparison making sense is they were both great glove guys. Where like these guys could be generational talents defensively. That's what Lindor was marked as when he came up, but nobody thought that he was going to be able to hit at the big league level at an elite, at a high level. No one did. It was not what he was when he was coming up. So that's very similar to Mason Winn right now, where I think both of them are going to surprise with like Lindor did. I think Winn could definitely surprise a lot of people and be way better offensively than they even thought. And they both have that raw talent that just makes you say, wow, what could they turn into? Lindor did turn into that. So it is possible for Winn to do it.
Right.
But is he going to be Lindor? The odds of that's like a 99th percentile outcome for him.
I was right. Colorado. That's what I thought it was. Colorado. 99 to 2000.
Atlanta as well?
No. He did spend time with Cleveland and Baltimore, but was the GM.
Why did I think he was in Atlanta?
I don't know.
You said you said you did too.
Well, I did lie. Well, I was trying to go with you. I thought maybe you knew what you were talking about.
No, I honestly did. I don't know why, but I did think that.
I knew Colorado. I just didn't know the others. Okay, a couple other things.
Wait, what were your thoughts on that?
On what? I don't even know what you said. I was looking
Lindor and Winn.
No, oh yeah, I'm kidding. Yeah, I mean, I love comps because as a fan, but I hate them. Does that make sense?
I always hate them.
Yeah, because you just let Mason Winn be Mason Winn, and let's see what he turns out to be.
That's the thing is what comparing. People have asked me this on Twitter. I don't know why they're asking me because I don't know anything. But they've asked me like compare Jordan Walker to anyone, and I was like, he's not like anybody. Like what makes Jordan Walker and Mason Winn so great, and that's why I am so fascinated by both of them to varying degrees. They are not like anyone I've ever seen in the Cardinal system. They're not like anyone that's in baseball currently. They're really not. Neither of them. They're so unique. Like he's like Jordan Walker's got big and he's got the power and he's got the crazy exit velocities, but he's not Giancarlo Stanton. He runs faster. He can do more things.
Yeah.
Like he's not Aaron Judge. Aaron Judge wasn't even Aaron Judge when he was 20, like at all. He was in college at Fresno.
College, yeah.
Like, so what's Jordan Walker and what's Mason Winn going to be? I don't know. I'm not going to compare them to anybody. Like, no. Because here's the thing, like who? I
mean, we did compare Winn. I called him like that. He looked like Royce Clayton. I think I did say that, but
we didn't do that.
I did. Well, you called him somebody else before I called him Royce Clayton.
I don't think I've ever called Mason Winn. I think I said Trey Turner. That was
But we are guilty of this.
But I never like said that he's going to be that. I don't. think Mason Winn's going to be that. No one saw Lindor. Name me one shortstop in the history of baseball that reminds you of Francisco Lindor.
Yeah, it's hard.
A switch hitter with power that plays Gold Glove defense.
Yeah.
No one. So why does Winn have to be something like that?
Yeah,
like, we don't know.
Agree. Couple other things. Manfred made the announcement today. Jack posted that he'd been on a call. Some rule changes coming or some tweaks to the rule changes. What do you think?
Did you say this already?
No.
You said I heard you earlier because you said Manfred.
Yeah, I said something about Manfred saying about the WBC. Or do you listen to what is said on this podcast?
No, because it bothers me when you say Manfred when it's Manfred. That's one. It's Manfred.
Oh, Manfred. Manfred Mann.
It's not Manfred. But
Rob Manfred. Yeah, I say everything wrong anymore.
Yeah, you do. You sound like an idiot.
Evidently I said 100 today instead of 100.
Yeah, and that's what you just did with Manfred. You did the same thing.
What is up? And I don't.
If there's an R after there's an R immediately after the D, it's red.
And I don't say the G at the end of things. What's going on?
What's the guy from Scooby Doo's name? The guy with the blonde hair.
Shaggy.
No, the other one. You're ruining my point. The other one.
Fred.
Is it Ferd?
Yeah, I don't know why I do that.
It's Rob Manfred, not Rob Manfred. Anyway, I tweeted this out, and I think I said this on here when we were talking about the rules at the beginning of spring training. Which, man, time flies. Spring training is almost over. But I said I like all of the rule adjustments, and I like where they're going with all of them, but I don't want them to be etched in stone, and then be so staunch in everything they're doing to where they are unwilling to change them if they needed to be changed. For me, I like I like it. I don't want 2 hour and 15 baseball games. That's not good. Like no one wants to go to a baseball game and sit there for only 2 hours and 15 minutes. It's not what you want. So I wanted them to maybe make it 5 seconds longer, 25 seconds with a runner on base, 20 with nobody. And I want the batter not to have to step in the box until the pitcher's on the mound.
So you
Because
think
it
that's
is
what they
stupid.
are? Do you think that they'll get rid of
I
the
don't know
pitch
yet.
clock in like the 8th and 9th inning? Like I've heard a lot of people
No,
talking
I don't
about.
think they're gonna. I don't think they're gonna do
Okay.
that. I don't, because that
Okay.
makes no sense. But the thing
I mean,
that
it does
bothers
make
me,
sense actually. To
the-
speed up the end of a game is tough.
it's not if you make it 25 seconds. Like
Yeah,
you should be
that's
able to
fair.
do that. And here's the thing that bothers me about it the most. I hate that the batter has to be in the box and be ready by 8 seconds, but the pitcher doesn't have to be in the box until whenever they want. They just have to throw it by the time the clock's up. So you're telling me the hitter has to stand there for 8 seconds waiting for the pitcher to throw the ball? That's not comfortable. That's not an advantage for anybody but the pitcher. They can play mind games with it. For me, what needs to happen is when the pitcher's on the mound, the batter needs to be in the box. Make it 5 seconds. Like that's okay. If the batter's in there by 5 seconds. But 8 seconds, and then you're getting to a problem where guys are like hitting foul balls and sprinting back into the box because they've got 8 seconds to get back in the box. 7 seconds. Like that's not how it should be.
300, just to do, I did a little math on your 5 second between a pitch. If there's a standard 300 pitches in a game, right? That's just a number.
5 seconds.
5 seconds to the pitch clock. You went from 20 to 25.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
5 seconds.
You
5
said
seconds
it
on
weird.
each pitch. That's roughly 25 minutes. I don't know that they'll do that. I honestly don't. That's a lot. I mean, that doesn't
Hold
sound
on,
like
but
a lot of time.
You're assuming that they don't use the whole clock every time.
I'm just letting you know that is what you're looking at as a max. I don't know that they'll do that. They might.
Wait, hold on.
Might
What do you
right.
mean 25 minutes?
Okay, so if you add 5 seconds to each pitch, right?
Okay.
So you go from 20 seconds to 25 seconds. That's 5 seconds. Roughly 300 pitches in a game. That's 12 minutes. Or I mean 25
20.
minutes. Sorry, 25 minutes. So that's what I'm saying. Like that adds roughly, if you were to do that math, which they'll do the analytics. That's 25 minutes to the game. I don't know that they're willing to take the 215 and go to up to 240 when they're really happy with what seems to be a 2 hour and 15-minute game. That's all I'm saying. I'm not saying you're wrong. I'm not saying I disagree with your proposal. I'm saying I don't know that that's what it'll be. That's all I'm saying.
How'd you do that math?
I have this big old brain. I can't say third, and I can't say third, and I can't say my G's.
So I want to know how you did it, seriously.
Okay, so if you look at it, right, 5 seconds, there's 12 of those in a minute. So divide 300 by 12, that gives you the minutes, 25.
That doesn't seem right to me. Okay. Either way.
That's because I said it. If you would have read it online, it would sound perfectly normal to you. But since
my
knew math,
thing is, okay, I think there's user error in that. And not user error, but error in philosophy, because you're assuming now that they're going to take the entire 25 seconds.
what I'm telling you is that's what they're going to look at, because that's what they looked at when they went to the 20-second mark. That's all I'm telling you. They took the average of a pitch and they went to the 22nd to eliminate the time. That's all I'm saying.
Then you know what they did. Okay, I'll change my tune then. You know what they should do? Make it 20 seconds across the board.
Yeah, and again, please understand that I'm not saying you're wrong. I'm simply looking at it from the MLB point of view that I don't know that that's what it'll be.
Why don't
I
you
don't know
make
if they're
it-
willing to do that.
Why don't you make it 20 seconds across the board? Then
Yeah.
you're doing an average of 2.5 seconds.
Yeah, that makes sense.
That math is also flawed
Yeah,
because there's
yeah.
situations. But
Well,
for
whatever.
me, the biggest problem I've had with it, like I said, is the batters are being rushed to a level where it doesn't really make any sense. Because what did they say they wanted? They wanted more action in the game. Your batters are getting punched out because they're not ready, and you got Max Scherzer standing there like a psychopath until the clock's about to strike zero, and the guy's been standing in the box for 8 seconds and he's uncomfortable. I don't like that. Let's not do that. That's counterproductive to what you want to do with more action in the game.
Love the bigger bases. Safety reason, but also you're going to see more stolen bases. I'm all on board with that. I don't love limiting our throws over to first base. I hate that kind of stuff. That seems Mickey
I like
Mouse
it.
to me. I know that's fine. You like Mickey Mouse, whatever.
No, but here's why I like it. It don't demean what I'm saying. Here's why I like it. I like
Shut
it
it, Mickey.
because one, nobody likes when they throw over 5 times. That's ridiculous. No one likes it. But 2, I like the idea of big situation. Trey Turner's on first base. You've got, I don't care who's on. I don't care who's pitching. Anyone's pitching. And you got one throw over. And then now it's a cat and mouse game of Trey Turner's thinking you don't want to throw over again, because you throw over again, you know how big of a lead I'm getting after the second throw over, and I'm going to steal second. And The pitcher's thinking, should I throw over again? Because he might steal if I don't make him uncomfortable. I like that because I think that brings out the best in baseball, which is the player versus player who's going to flinch cat and mouse game. And I like that they can do that. I do think that's
I just don't like the limits on it, but I get it. Now, let me ask you a question out of maybe ignorance here. And maybe you don't know the answer. Maybe somebody else does. You've thrown over to first twice.
Right.
Guy gets massive lead because that's what he's going to do. Are you allowed to step off and then throw over to first?
You allowed 3 disengagements.
So,
but here's the thing, Dad. So
because here's what I'm saying: like if he takes off running, can the pitcher can't disengage then and throw to second base like they would in a normal, like you've been taught since you were 4?
So, okay, but you get 3 disengagements, so you'd be able to. You just have to get them out. So that is that. But after the third one, that's a really good question, and I don't know the answer. The answer would be yeah, because here's the thing. So you get 3 of them, right? You get
I thought
3.
It was 2.
Nope, you get 3. After the third one, if you don't get him out after the third one, it's a balk. Okay. So in any situation, you'd be able to step off and get him out, but you'd have to get him out. And if he's running and he gets a second and you didn't get him out, then who cares anyway, right? Because he didn't get out.
Yeah, they wouldn't send him to third. He just is at second.
No, yeah, he just be at second.
Okay, all right.
So that would never be a problem because you can't ever get past 3 with the guy on the same base because it would be a balk. So you'd always be able to step off.
If you had thrown to first 3 times and then he just takes off? If you can't step off and throw to second? Because that'd be 4.
Like you have to get him out.
Okay.
If you don't get him out, he's safe.
So, okay. All right. And I'm sorry, my mind again.
That is a good question. And that's
running like I'm thinking fundamental baseball here.
Here's the thing for me. If you've stepped off 3 times and allowed him to go to second base, you're a fucking idiot. Don't do that.
This is why it becomes Mickey Mouse to me. That's all I'm saying.
It doesn't though, because the situations you just brought up, I guarantee you that may happen once every 5 years. And even they probably won't. Because you're going to teach them, hey.
You can't guarantee that, by the way.
Pick up anyway, pick off twice. And if you do that, for me, the thing that's cool to me is if you pick off twice, that guy's going to get a massive lead, like you said, which means like you might be able to get him out. But you better get him out if he's getting the second. And I want to see that situation occur to see how much is Trey Turner going to lead off and how willing is, let's just say, Ryan Helsley in the 9th inning to throw over there when he thinks he can get him, but he doesn't know for sure if he can get him. Like, I want to see that stuff play out. I think that's interesting.
I think from what I've read from a lot of the players and a lot of the former players, I think you're going to, instead of maybe your 5-second thing, I think you're going to see a change at the end of the game. That's what I think. I think maybe the clock either gets longer or it's turned off in the 8th or 9th inning, because I do think the Major League Baseball does not want a game to end on a strikeout call because the guy got to 20 seconds instead of 19. Do you know what I really truly do believe that.
That's okay with me, but then at the same time, like you're acting, then you get to a situation where you're saying, well, why is the 8th inning more important than the 7th inning?
I'm just telling you from what I've read from players. Yeah, I do. But hold on. You know as well as I do. What do pitchers say? The last 3 outs are the hardest ones to get out.
Yeah, but they don't say the last 6 outs.
I'm not saying it's gonna be the 8th. It could be the 9th.
Here's the thing that's interesting to me, and this I actually really like this wrinkle that just came up with my head. Because I think
we've gone on way too long about the rule changes.
No, we haven't, because it's like the most important thing really going on this season. I think what we're missing in this, I'm going to sound old here, and I like the DH, and I would have done the universal DH. I think it's great, but we are missing a little bit of managerial. What word am I looking for? Strategy. Thank you. Sorry, I went blank for a second. We're missing some strategy. If you have Giovanni Gallegos, and it is, hey, the last 6 outs, that's when the pitch clock is off. You don't ever use Giovanni Gallegos before the 8th inning now.
Right. Correct.
So that stuff, it's like, okay, well, now he's designated. He has to throw the last 6 outs.
Yeah.
I think that stuff is more interesting to me, to see how people manage their pitchers to their strengths. Like now Ryan Helsley is going to probably be able to throw harder if that happens, because he's going to have more time to recover between pitches. I am interested to see how that all works. I like the strategy that comes in.
I could be wrong, but just from what I've read on Twitter and from what I've heard from a lot of former players, I think that's the way that they might lean. I could be wrong.
You know, the funniest thing about this conversation, these are coming out tomorrow. Everyone listening to this, you're going to know if we're right or wrong. Everything we could have just said, probably irrelevant right now.
Yeah, probably.
Or you know what? Maybe we had a great conversation about something that's actually happening. We'll see.
Maybe Manfred's listening.
Yeah, I'm not.
All right.
Are you purposefully disrespecting him? Is that what you're doing?
No, I wasn't meaning to, but I might now. I might now.
You're disrespecting the commish.
That's Rick Hummel.
Yeah, I know. I love Rick.
What was I going to say? There was something else I was just going to say there. Oh, well, one thing, thank you guys for listening to us go on and on about what we think baseball should do. If you are still watching, which, hey, if you are, shout out to you and thank you. If you'd like to hit that little subscribe button, we'd greatly appreciate that. That would be really, really cool. Yeah. We're up to 24% internationally. How fucking awesome is that?
That's really cool. Thanks, WBC.
And Lars and Tyler O'Neill.
Yeah, and Shohei Ohtani, because
yep,
he plays a part in everything because he's God, I think. But and also,
no, go ahead.
300 subscribers we just got to.
We need to get to 1,000, folks. So if you could go ahead and hit that subscribe button, we're on their way. But the one thing I did want to say that I think we didn't get to, how bad did you feel for Gio last night?
I felt awful for him for a couple of reasons. One, that's just so shitty. Like the thing we always talk about is, man, how awesome is it to represent your country? And it really is. And it's awesome to go win for your country if you're Japan today, right? That's a great feeling. But what's not a good feeling is when you feel like you let down your country. That's a bad feeling. Yep. And I hope Gio's okay. Benji Gill, I want to say this. Fantastic job. He deserves all the credit in the world for getting that Mexico team to where they got to. We didn't talk about Randy, but man, he was awesome as well. I hope Benji Gill gets an opportunity to manage or be a bench coach or get some thing in major leagues, because I think he proved he deserves it. But man, that I texted you and I tweeted this out because I didn't want it to be a hindsight thing. I said putting Giovanni Gallegos in against Shohei Ohtani, Yoshida, and Murakami is the dumbest thing you can do, and you're going to lose the game. He's not good against lefties, and he didn't get out. And it's not really like he made some good pitches. He really did. That pitch to Murakami, not good. But the other pitches were pretty good. They just hit him. And then he did walk Yoshida, which isn't good. But to me, like
Benji kind of addressed it. I mean, he said he hadn't given up a run the entire tournament. And also he didn't say this, but I think he felt that's the best. I don't think he felt comfortable putting anybody else into that situation. It sucks for Gio, but again, it goes back to kind of what DeRosa, like, what do you want him to do?
It wasn't going to work.
I'm not arguing that. I'm just saying, like, even with DeRosa, like Merrill Kelly today wasn't going to work. It wasn't. And it's not a shot at Merrill Kelly. So what would he have done if
Gio wasn't available?
Yeah, I don't. That's a great question, but I think you would have had to address that then.
What I would have done would have been, hey, top 6 guys in the order, all left-handed. Gio treat him like he's not available if those guys are up.
Yeah,
because I'm telling you, Dad, I don't care who you throw out there. You could have thrown out there Joey. You could have thrown Joey Meneses out on the mound. You would have had the same probability of winning that game, 0%.
Yeah,
it has nothing against Gio. I love Giovanni Gallegos. You know my love for him. He's one of my favorite players on the team. You put him against the best player in the world, Shohei Ohtani. You put him against the best power hitter in Asia ever, in Murakami, and Yoshida, who's tearing the cover off the ball. What a World Baseball Classic that guy had, the most RBIs ever in the World Baseball Classic. He wasn't going to win it, and I hope. Yeah. I hope Gio gets a third pitch to address his woes against left-handed hitting. Man, that was tough. I love Gio. I hope he's doing all right. That has to suck.
Yeah, I just wanted to bring that up. I felt bad for him. It was terrible to see. Felt bad for whoever it was. It just sucked that he's one of ours.
It wasn't just him, guys. It wasn't just him.
No.
Like Jojo Romero, another Cardinal, gave up the 3-run bomb to Yoshida when the game was under control. Like baseball's hard. That Japanese team felt like a team of the destiny. Moment today that happened, the Ohtani versus Trout moment was meant to happen. They were winning that game in the 9th inning.
Yep. Very much like the 2004 Red Sox. Just felt like steamrolling. They didn't lose a game.
No, they didn't, because Kevin Millar said, don't let us win tomorrow. They let them win, and then they just kept winning.
Boom. All right. So in 2023, is Sasaki a Cardinal or is Tony Ford? Is Ohtani a Cardinal?
Sasaki can't come over till 2027.
He can come over. He just has to do what Ohtani did and take less money. He has to lose a
lot of money.
But that might not.
You know, the guy that I think is gonna be available after 2023, like for sure, is Yamamoto, who pitched yesterday. Guy is disgusting. He's won back-to-back MVPs over there. In the Pacific League, I believe is what it's called. That's the guy I would want them to go after. Unless Sasaki is available, then give him every fucking dollar you have.
Agreed.
And give him whatever he wants.
Would he throw 30 pitches and 25 were over 100, or he threw 25 and 20 were over 100?
He's
21.
Dude. He's 21. Incredible. He's the most talented. He might be a top 5 pitcher in the world right now. Like legitimately. One Shohei Ohtani, no chance. I would love it. I really would. And I'm sure that he would at least be interested and considering coming here. Bill DeWitt's the guy that has to be interested, and he won't be. Sasaki, if you don't use Lars Nootbaar's newfound love with all the players over there to your advantage, like, hey, Murakami is going to be a free agent right around the time Nolan Arenado might be getting old. So they would slide Nolan over to first and get Murakami as our third baseman. But
Think
I would
there's a lot of options
love
there.
to get a Japanese pitcher over here because
Same.
they all seem to come over and have success. I wanted Kodai Senga really bad. We just didn't even try.
Yeah. Yeah. We'll see what happens. We'll see what happens there. But I do think the nuke bar effect is going to be interesting to see.
It is. I mean, it's at least there's gonna be like if you're one of those guys, like if you're Roki Sasaki or you're Murakami or anybody, and you're coming over here to a completely different land with a language barrier and everything. I know they have their translators and everything, but wouldn't you love to have a guy that you know in your clubhouse?
Yep.
Now that could be as simple as going to wherever Shohei goes, like wherever that ends up being, or it could be
or Yoshida
or Yoshida in Boston. Like they've always been, they've always signed international guys.
Yeah,
or it could be Lars
Yankees.
Nootbaar. You know, he said he had a good relationship with Roki Sasaki. So
let's get out of here.
Else? I
single digits. By the time you're watching this, we're at 8. 8 days till opening day. It looks like it could be nasty on opening day, why would it not be? Yeah, like cold and rainy. So hey, why not?
I didn't see that.
Well, maybe it changed. Your mom told me that the other day.
What day is that?
It's Thursday. What do you got for Thursday on weather up there in St. Louis?
60 degrees and 30% chance of rain.
Oh, that's not bad. Okay, it was higher than that, I think. Okay.
No, if it rains, like it rains, but I just don't want it to be cold.
Yeah, same. All right.
That's fine. So, hey, we're gonna be under Big Mac land. We're not gonna get rained on.
That's fair. Yep. All right, good. I can't wait to be up there. Anyway, thank you guys again for listening. We greatly appreciate it. I think we have one more pod before opening day hits, I believe, right? Where we'll unveil our power rankings, our first edition of the 2023 power rankings. If you ever get the
don't do that
template done.
Because you're talking about this and this video's up and you can see all the nice graphics because I did it.
Because you won't let me.
Yeah, because you can't. No,
you've taken away all of
my. Let's end this. I gotta go do
power.
I gotta do some Spanish homework, and
Espanol.
It takes me a while because I don't speak the language.
All right. Anyway, thank you guys so much. 8 days till Cardinal baseball, meaningful baseball. Again, we have meaningful baseball all the way through November. Well, till November. So not until December do we not get to play a meaningful game. As always, thank you guys for listening. Have an amazing weekend. We will be back before you know it. Take care. We'll see you soon. Go Cards.